Now, if you're breeding, the bond between the doe and her kid is really special to watch, but widely misunderstood. Here's why. Goat kids are hiders, which means pretty soon after birth, they'll take themselves off and choose a place to hide. Mum will rejoin the herd and basically act like she doesn't have a baby, but she'll go looking and call to him intermittently. It can seem like a long time that she leaves him, but that part's up to Mum. She might leave him anywhere from 1 to 8 hours. When she calls to him, he'll call back, and it's the kid's job to meet her halfway. This hiding behaviour lasts for anywhere from 2 days to 3 weeks, so it can be a little while before they start following her. But this behaviour means that so many little kids out there, perfectly fine, are picked up by well-meaning humans, assuming that they've been abandoned. What's heartbreaking is that Mum is probably very close by watching. When there's a predator around, she will give a very low, rumbly, vibrato kind of call to the kid that means lie down and freeze. You probably didn't even hear the mum calling, but the kid did, so he lies there frozen doing what Mum said, while the human picks him up and carries him off thinking it's the best thing for everyone. Now, in saying that, just to confuse things, sometimes Mum does actually forget where the kid is, or if she's suddenly stressed by a predator or terrible weather hits, she may look after herself and lose control of the situation. So if bad weather hits, or if you hear the kid or doe repeatedly calling to each other, you can go out there and check on him and see if they need reuniting. Now, assuming they're not picked up by a predator or well-meaning human, they'll rejoin Mum after a few days to a few weeks. Goat kids tend to be very focused on pairs from a pretty young age. So actually, unlike lambs who stick pretty close to Mum at all times until they get older, goat kids in the first 6 weeks of life actually spend most of their time at least kind of 6 to 10 metres away from her. He'll be hanging out with his little creche, his little buddies. They'll sleep in little piles and do their thing. There is usually a doe that watches the group and stays nearby. It's usually the one that's had her kid the most recently. When it's time to drink, they'll all head back to their own mums. Now, after about 6 to 8 weeks old, as they start becoming a little more grown up and grazing a lot more, they do move closer and closer to Mum and will eventually end up grazing alongside and living out their lives in a pretty close mum and daughter relationship for life.